Please tell me there is a dark mode button down here. Thank God. Okay. My basement dweller eyes cannot handle such bright lights anymore. Alright, everybody, close your eyes. Boom. Back at the top. 5.0.12 balance update for SC2. I don't normally like to cover this kind of info, this kind of content, until it actually goes official, is what I'd probably say. The notes that we get on Battle.net to see what was actually posted to the game. This is just preliminary testing. Public testing phase, proposed changes from the community. But I have been seeing so much buzz about this, especially in my Discord, that I suppose it's time to take a look, to check it out. Get a little zoomed in here, make a little too far there. Patch goals. Let's start with. So their goals, mind you, their goals. I'm not a part of this, obviously. Make Protoss more stable on a professional level in the early game versus Raven pushes and more able to fight Terran's mid-late game armies without solely relying on disruptors. Now that sentence sounds like we're going to help other things, but I'm willing to bet we kind of just crushed the disruptor. Increase the variety in the mid-game and late-game army compositions by reducing the strength of massed ghosts, banelings, and disruptors. See Statement A. I bet we crushed the disruptor. Make over-specialized units such as Cyclones, Mothership, and Infestors viable throughout more stages of the game. Bring visual clarity to important units on the mini-map. Relevant abilities like Widowmine targeting and Disruptor's cooldown indicator. Oh, yeah, the Disruptor glows when its Purification Nova is ready to fire. Promote more interaction in late game scenarios by making units such as Tempest, Mothership, and Broodlord more maneuverable. Didn't we just buff the Broodlord's speed? Like, do we just want official Broodlord Ferraris here? Okay. Table of contents. That's a lot. We're going to be here for a little while, guys. Get your beverages. Take a drink here. Terran. Cyclone. Oh boy. Cost reduced 150, 100 to 125.50. So we're halving the gas cost. That's helpful. Tech lab requirement removed. We can reactor cyclones. What? Health reduced to 100. Armor reduced to 0. Supply cost reduced to 2. Auto attack range increased to 6. Lock-on now uses the Cyclone's auto attack damage instead of its own special spell damage. No longer ignores armor. Auto attack damage / attack speed is now 11 plus 2 versus armor. That's a decrease. 0.491 cooldown though. That's a heck of an increase. They don't say what it was, but wasn't it like 0.7, 0.8-ish? That's a good increase in their attack speed. Plus 1 damage per upgrade. Lock-on cooldown removed, no longer has a delay before the first shot, maintains weapon cooldown between lock-ons. Cast range reduced to 6, max range reduced to 9. Okay. Multiple Cyclones will now auto-cast lock-on onto the same target, mag field removed, move speed reduced, slow clones. New upgrade. Increasing move speed to 5.1. What? Cyclones are booking it. Okay. Researched at the tech lab. Oh, there's little notes here, too. Redesign of the Cyclone to make it into a more all-around unit in all matchups. Probably not TVT, but good luck. Aims to increase the viability of mech gameplay against Protoss, while promoting more active engagements with mech armies. Cyclone still will not auto-cast the lock-on to buildings using its basic attack if no other enemies are nearby, so you'll still have to manually gun down the hatchery if you want. Test mod to do name icon, okay. Wow. Cyclone rework going on here. Who let Gumiho in charge? That's what I want to know. So, in short summary here, it's a little bit more fragile. It is less burst damage from the lock-on. However, its basic attack, somebody crunch the numbers for me. I want to say that's actually a bit nicer, having it the lower damage but faster attack speed here. Lock-on cooldown removed. Cast range reduced. This is important too, because this is all about counterplay. If they cannot cast it until range 6, that means they'll have to contend with things like Stalkers, they'll have to contend with Hydras, Ravagers, and Siege Tanks I think are an obvious. Siege Tanks were already a good answer to Cyclones. Max range reduced to 9, which means they cannot just completely outrun and outrange without breaking that lock-on, so gosh, even things like Thermal Lance Colossi can semi-contend with Cyclones. Reactor, though. Reactored Cyclones, I'm a bit nervous for any Zerg players that are having to deal with Battle Mech. Their goal was to make it more viable, a more all-around unit in all matchups. With these changes, it feels like it's almost an alternative to the Hellion. Like, you can choose, do you want the anti-light with a little bit of splash, or do you want the Cyclone with its... It does still have plus versus armored, so it's an anti-armor. Oh boy, I could talk about this all day. We gotta move. Ghost. Snipe damage reduced from 170 to 130, plus 40 versus psionic, so just a little weaker versus dumb things. If you're not a psionic target, you're fine. Phew, great. Most of us are safe, right? EMP radius reduced from 1.75 to 1.5. So just a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. EMP, I've always thought was one of the strongest spells in the game versus Protoss, because you factor in the loss of energy plus the loss of shields. This means you have to use maybe more EMPs to just blanket the army. Reducing the radius of EMP will encourage Protoss to use Psystorm. Sure. And help Protoss in straight-up engagements versus Terran armies. Snipe will no longer one-shot units such as Zealots and Roaches. Happy Roaches, very good. Requiring an extra shot to kill Ultras in the late game versus Zerg. Generally reducing cost efficiency. Okay. Hey, I'm on board with it. I think the Ghost has... the Ghost being a late-game catch-all hasn't really felt that great, so... Some changes to help. Okay. Without completely breaking the unit, too. This is not going to completely break the Ghost. I think it still will be useful. Widowmine. Drilling Claws now also makes the Widowmine unburrow twice as fast. It didn't before? Targeting line is more visible. Return some of the strength to active Widowmine Micro in the mid-game versus Zerg. Lost after Drilling Claw's burrow speed nerf. Apparently it didn't. I'm just bad. Okay. Medevac. Speed upgrade replaced with Caduceus Reactor. Increases Medevac's energy regen rate by 100%. Upgraded from the fusion core, so no more Speedovacs. Oh, man. I mean, nobody used it anyways, but... RIP, Speed Medevacs replaces the current unused. Yeah, Medevac upgrade with an upgrade which could be used in active games. Large medevac count that run out of energy. We've all seen it. You have 6 medevacs left over with your army. They have no energy though, because they're the only things surviving. Standardizes mini-map size of Prism Medevac Overlord. Previously, medevacs could appear smaller on the mini-map. Well, that ought to help. Spotting drops, maybe. Okay. Raven. Interference matrix now requires a research. Oof. 50-50, 57-second research time at the tech lab. A single Raven opening can currently disable multiple key units in early pushes against Protoss. Yeah. It was pretty helpful. The cheap cost of the upgrade will still offer multiple Raven play in TVT and specialized builds in TVP. My prediction, the Raven tank push that we're used to seeing in TVP is now going to become a Liberator tank push. I'm betting people are going to go for Liberators instead of Ravens now. Zerg. Wake up, bug lovers. Lurker. Adaptive Talons move speed bonus removed. Cost reduced as well. As some of the main counters to Lurkers are getting nerfed, reduce the speed of repositioning Lurkers in the late game. So it doesn't change their burrow speed, it's just their movement speed. Okay. I'm okay with this. Infestor. Pathogen glands removed. Uh-oh. Infestor starting energy increased to 75. It was baked in, boys. Fungal growth cast range reduced to 9 and damage reduced to 20. Since the infested Terran ability was removed, infestors have no utility until reaching 75 energy. Fungal damage and range reduced to prevent infestors from killing Marines with 2 consecutive fungals. Okay. As a trade-off to the EMP radius nerf. Yeah, so yes, it's a bit more fair against the Ghost play. I'm a little nervous for that mid-game moment where you're on like Roach Rav Infestor trying to deflect the drops and the bio shenanigans before there were ghosts coming out. Either way, not having to worry about pathogen glands and timing the infestors to where they come out right after it finishes, that's a win. Certainly a quality of life thing. Yes, fungal is a bit worse, sure, but I don't know, having that quality of life might help people, you know, around my level and lower in terms of the leagues. Although I wouldn't advise most of you guys to use infestors. Spire. Air armor upgrade cost cost reduced from 150 blah 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 to 100, 175, 250. Same as air weapons. Air armor generally considered less useful than the air weapons upgrade despite being more expensive. I laugh at you. In Muta versus Muta battles, air armor was OP. That's fine though. Viper. Consume damage reduced to 150. Reduces the attention required for gathering Viper energy. The Viper will no longer drink your buildings to death. Perfect. Broodlord. Here we go. Speed Lords. Move speed increased from 2.24 to 2.62. I rest my case. Speed Lords. Broodling move speed reduced to 413, Broodling health reduced to 20, and attack speed slowed to 0.57. Continuing in the direction, further increasing Broodlord mobility while reducing the strength of the Broodlings to compensate. Should allow for more active play. We'll see. I mean, they didn't touch the Thor. They did touch the Ghost, though. The Ghost will actually deal less damage to Broodlords because they're not psionic. They mentioned requiring an extra shot to kill an Ultra on the Ghost, but they didn't mention it for the Broodlord. Somebody can crunch the numbers. Do Ghosts need an extra shot to kill the Broodlords now? Are Broodlords going to be a bit more viable, a bit safer? I don't know. Broodlord Infestor, though, sounding not too bad. Overlord. Deceleration speed increased from 149 to 2.28. That's nice. That's helpful. Generate creep delay reduced. Oh, okay. So, from the time that you hit the button, or when they stop moving, I guess, to when they actually start putting down the creep, reduce the amount of time it takes for overlords to stop and begin dropping creep, to allow for more active usage of queen drops. Alright. Hey, overlord drops, right? Oh, the more. Transport upgraded. Dropper lords. Move speed increased from 0.9 to 1.1, essentially. Move speed with pneumatized carapace increased to 2.83. They are zooming. Guys, dropper lords. A bit more possible now. Allow for more active drop usage in combination with the Baneling damage nerf, spoiler alert. Should not increase the overall strength of Baneling harass against Protoss. There you go, Protoss, you got something. There's a win for you. Ultralisk. Cost reduced from 300, 200 to 275, 200. Looks like a 2% discount. Burrow unburrow time reduced. Oh, guys, have you ever seen an Ultralisk burrow and unburrow? It's so funny. They take so long. Apparently they won't take so long anymore. Lurkers and Broodlord are generally favored over Ultras in the late game, as Ultras have poor cost efficiency over time. Should make them more used throughout long games. With the Ghost nerf too? Maybe. Maybe. Lower cost, I'll take it. Hydralisk speed and range upgrades combined cost 150, 150. Increase the speed at which Hydras come online in the mid-game for more quickly responding to air switches such as Mutas and to supplement weaker Banelings. I like that, actually. Do I think it's going to save the Hydra from its role of mediocrity? Probably not. This probably isn't going to save you, but if you're doing a Hydra timing, or, oh no, I already built my Hydra den, your Hydras are going to be a bit better off. Lingbane Hydra, composition of choice for many a game. Having those upgrades combined is just going to help them all around. Good job, Hydras. Baneling. Bonus damage per upgrade reduced from 2 +2 versus light to 2 versus all, so no more extra light on the upgrades. Will that make them not one-shot workers anymore? Centrifugal hooks cost reduced, research time reduced, health bonus removed. Oh no. Not my Banelings. Will no longer one-shot probes and drones with +2 attack. Reduce some of the strength of mass Baneling armies in the mid-game. Reduce the volatility in defending Baneling run-bys. Is that how we spell run-bys? By requiring multiple Banelings to kill workers, the speed upgrade will require less of an investment to maintain similar balance. I'm not sure about this one. Wasn't the purpose of the health bonus to help them survive splash damage? Like, if a tank hits one, its buddy might die next to it, too? Like, multiple tank shots, that is. I don't know. I'm okay with the upgrade nerf. I'd be curious to know, do they still one-shot if you have +3 attack? That would be nice to know, but I kinda doubt it. Protoss. Wake up, Protoss. Take a drink here. Stay hydrated, everyone. Forge. Shield upgrade cost reduced 150 to 150, 200, 250. Okay, just making it cheaper for +2 and +3 shields. You really only got shields if you were making, you know, double-digit archons. So, okay, it could help it. Less useful than attack and armor upgrades for both air and ground units. Yeah, especially against ghosts. Getting shield upgrades was kind of silly. Cyber Core. Air armor upgrade cost reduced. Oh, the same treatment that the Spire got. Air armor considered less useful. Okay, moving on. Warp Prism. Minimap radius increased just like the Medevac. Previously, prisms could appear smaller on the minimap on large maps. Yes, excellent. Disruptor. Here we go. Supply cost increased to 4. Model scale reduced by 9%. Radius increased to 0.625. Does not affect its collision with buildings. It is currently hard to tell which disruptors have their nova available when they're clumped together as the models intersect with each other. That is true. If you got all your disruptors on top of each other, it looked like a jumbled mess of nightmares. The goal of supply cost increases to reduce potential of mass disruptor armies while still allowing Protoss players to use the disruptor as a strong mid-game and late-game tool. Okay. So we can no longer have 14 disruptor armies in the mid-game. What is that? So you call it PvT. You're normally running what? 70 to 80 probes? So you got about 120 in army supply. Previously we could see probably 10 disruptors. So that'll now be 40. Of that. Yeah, a third of your army is probably going to be disruptors now. That's it's a change. I don't want to call it a bad change. I don't want to call it a good change because I'm not sure. The model scale reduced by 9% makes me laugh though. We're going to have mini disruptors now. Void Ray. Prismatic alignment move speed with flux veins increased. Whoa. Speed rays. Previously, there was an issue where flux veins decreased the move speed. Oh, prismatic alignment. Duh. The ability. It would slow their movement speed when you made the beam all thick. Decrease the movement speed was active where it was intended to remain at 282. Okay. So now it still slows their movement speed, but if you have flux veins, it compensates, and they move at their normal, their intended speed. Allow players to actively micro void rays without needing to cancel prismatic alignment. I think so. I think prismatic alignment, it still technically slows, but if you get flux veins, it offsets the slow. Cool. Tempest. Acceleration, deceleration increased to 4.2. What? That's not a tempest anyway, that's a monsoon. Radius model scale reduced by 10%. That's good, they were huge. Improved the feeling of actively microing Tempest as the acceleration made them feel slow to respond when not already moving. They did feel really slow. I can understand that. The 2 games a year, I would actually need to make Tempest. I get it, that's fine. Mothership. Whoa. That's a lot going on here. Okay. Mothership. Cost reduced. No more minus 400 in the thumbnails. RIP. 250 supply cost reduced to 6. Build time reduced. to 79. Speed slightly increased. Lateral acceleration from 1.9 to 32.2. Lateral acceleration is how fast the unit changes direction while moving. So when you would tell your mothership it's moving, and you tell it to go up here, and it would do this like super swing around, is that going to help that? Increasing this will make the mothership no longer lag behind other army units. Is it no longer going to do the swing when you tell it to go a different direction? Health and shields reduced to 250, 250. Radius model scale reduced by 20%. Mama ship had a diet. Ooh. No longer has energy. Spells are now cooldown based. No more energy. Recall now has a 110-second cooldown. Radius reduced to 5. Time warp now has a 60-second cooldown. Slow reduced to 33%. Guys, nobody used it before anyways. Why make it worse? Time warp radius reduced to 3.5. Delay reduced, so at least it is up quicker. Gosh, is that going to be quick enough though? I'm not sure. For making it smaller, too, I feel like if we're going to make the radius smaller, it should still be a powerful slow. Because it's just a slow. It's not actually... whatever. I never built motherships anyways. Time warp, cast delay reduced. Cloak field is no longer passive. It is now an active ability which lasts for 10 seconds on a 50-second cooldown. The temporary cloak. Reduce the investment and increase the maneuverability of the mothership. Prevent it from being hard countered by EMP. Should allow for earlier mothership builds in all matchups, as well as more active usage. Was the mothership hard countered by EMP before? Like, yeah, you could say with the energy, but I think the mothership's always been hard countered by Vipers. Okay, I really don't know what to think about this. And I don't think I'm qualified to really give an opinion because I never really built the mothership before. I'm not sure how this will affect it. The removal of the energy, like they're trying to make it more viable in PvT. I get that. I'm just not sure it's really going to help. Does it still require the fleet beacon? That change, it doesn't mention here. So we're trying to allow for earlier mothership builds just by making it cost less. You still need the fleet beacon though. Who gets their fleet beacon in PvT like that early? Moving on. Sentry. Guardian shield duration increased from 10.7.1 to 12.8.6. Allow Guardian shield to be precast before engaging Terran armies involving ghosts. That is good. That's helpful. Just all around buff to Guardian shield. I like it. Oracle. Stasis ward sight range increased to 7. So if somebody doesn't activate it, it's helpful for vision. Fine. Immortal. Oh, I can't actually go any lower. Immortal. Barrier will now also block the first instance of damage, which triggers the barrier. It didn't before. That's true. You could just activate the barrier, it would absorb nothing, and then go away. Counts towards the 100 damage blocked by the barrier. Currently EMP hitting an Immortal will drain all of the shields, as well as activating the barrier, which generally expired before the Immortal received other damage, making the ability lose value in the mid-game against Terran. Immortal buff. I'm on board. I love Immortals. You guys know if you've seen me play PvT, I love my Robo opener Immortal, Colossi, all those juicy robotic things. Immortal's just a little bit, not stronger, safer. Immortal's just a little bit safer. Change log. Why can't I see that? Ugh. Oh well. Not a huge deal, I'll just read it. Change log on the 22nd, added details on the medevac cyclone upgrades, added the mothership hit points and shields change, and updated the wording of several points and changed comments. So no actual changes down here, just things they did to the document. That's a lot. Mothership rework, changes all around. Little bit of a hit to the disruptor. Little bit of buff to the immortal, though, like quality of life stuff. Hit to the baneling, quality of life to the hydra. Speed lords. Infester. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. The removal of pathogen glands. Ghost, nerf. Rip Ghost, goodbye Ghost, late game catch-all, and this, the Cyclone. I don't know. I mean, if we can get mech to be more viable, that's cool, but the Cyclone has always been rather abusive. Rather offensive. It didn't feel good to play against. I don't know. Is this how we fix it? Make it a little more fragile? The reactor cyclone makes me a little nervous, but that's just the Zerg in me. The Zerg in me is a little scared. The Terran in me is rather excited, though. Gonna have to try these out. My Discord peeps, no doubt you guys have already been playing with this. Feel free to share thoughts. And that's about it for that. Let me know, guys. Comments below. Share your thoughts, share your feelings. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? What are you excited about? What are you scared about? We're also getting new maps, so that's exciting. Have to do those in a separate video though, because we're already over 30 minutes talking about this stuff. As I said, let me know your thoughts. I'm very keen to see, very keen to know everybody's thoughts and opinions. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.